Hello everyone, I'm Breor and welcome back to Goodgame Empire. In today's video, I would like to open up a discussion with you regarding glory boosting, so first let me explain what that is. Glory boosting is the practice by which players arrange attacks with their allies or upon castles they own in order to make a ton of glory per hit. I'll be collecting some examples from the forums to put up on the screen before you right now. Arranging something like this is fairly simple, so let me give you an example of how it might be done. Let's say we have a hypothetical alliance called the Brothers, and that one of their sub-alliances is called the Sisters. The Brothers want to earn a top position in the Alliance Tournament, a competition in which alliances compete to earn glory points. However, they are having a lot of difficulty earning glory points the traditional way by attacking other players, because these players are either opening their gates or wasting their tools with Fire Castellan defenses. The Brothers decide that they could guarantee a lot of glory points if they were to arrange an attack against their own sub-alliance. The members of the Sisters are informed of this plan and are asked to send a lot of support to a certain player named Sub for Sub. Oh dear. Sub for Sub sets his castle to a horrible defense setup, taking defense tools off of his walls and defense equipment off of his Castellan. The castle of Sub for Sub now has a weak defense, but 15,000 troops, which could be slaughtered by the attack of a 6-wave player from the Brothers. The result is a report like one of these. There are various things that can be done to get every point of glory out of one of these attacks. The Brothers could declare war on the Sisters and then purchase an hour-long glory bonus from the Alliance Funds panel. The Brothers could win the Storm Islands event and assign the dishonorable title of the week to Sub for Sub. This title increases the glory and loot attackers get. Because the Brothers know Sub for Sub won't change his defense setup, they can send lots of glory flags without risking them to be wasted. The dominant opinion seems to be that glory boosting is unethical in the game, and there have been a great number of recent posts in the forum about this matter. One of the leaders of a powerful alliance here in USA 1 started a thread by saying this: "Boosting is for the weak, simple as that. It takes no skill, only people willing to sit down and do nothing but recruit. If you consider that fun, then yay for you, but there are those of us who would rather launch and defend. Play the game the way it was meant to be played." Another player responded by saying, "All proven boosting alliances will be declared upon by us. No excuses, no second chances. If you're that sad of a person to cheat and win, I don't want you on my server." Another player said, "It's a sad, pathetic way to win an event. If alliances can't provide evidence of glory hits that relate to their accumulated glory, then they should be declared upon." You're welcome to search for these posts on your own, and you will find them if you're inclined, but I've chosen to omit the names because I really don't have any personal problems with these players. I do disagree with them, though. The commotion eventually garnered the attention of a community manager who had this to say: "This kind of boosting is not technically against the rules, but I have to agree that it is a super sad way to win in the game. Maybe this is something that needs to be looked at more closely by the game team to see what we can do about getting it out of the game." I personally have never participated in a glory boost. Until recently, I only had 4 waves of attack, which meant that I wouldn't have been a very good candidate to serve as the attacker. While I was asked to sacrifice some of my defenders to make a hit possible, I don't believe I ever got around to doing so. With that being said, I have seen them happen, and I have been the beneficiary of a few, in that they have helped my former alliance win more alliance rewards. As many of you probably know, my former alliance was Kingdom of Nef 2, but this video isn't about them either. Take a look at the current top alliances in the Glory Tournament. How many of them do you think have boosted to get where they are?
All of them.
Glory boosting is now pretty much a universal practice amongst the bigger alliances, and I think there are a few valid reasons for this. It has become difficult to earn glory in the traditional manner because more players than ever are equipped with Fire Castellans, meaning they have no reason to defend. The defender using a Fire Castellan does mean that the attacker would lose all of his glory banners, so some considerate players will instead open their gates and surrender. Either way, however, it's tough to score glory when conducting regular PvP. Glory boosting is not against the stated rules of the game, even if players were not intended to do it. I think the developer also intended for players to fight continuously for control over resource villages, but that is frowned on by the community as well, so we don't do it. Finally, the developers made glory boosting even more attractive and possible when they introduced such features as the glory bonus button in the Alliance funds. One of the comments I read suggested that alliances should be required to provide documentation to show that all of their attacks were done the legitimate way. While there's more to the comment, there's nothing to indicate this part of it is sarcastic, but it is of course a silly idea. There are some problems I am readily willing to acknowledge about glory boosting, however, and this video would fall short of my audience's expectations if I failed to mention them. Problems arise when the account being attacked belongs to the user who is doing the attacking. Multi-accounting is explicitly against the rules of the game, and as I've mentioned in the past here on this channel, it's also a bad practice for alliance security and single account development. The other problem that I can think of is that glory boosting does destroy the competitive aspect of the Alliance Tournament. The Alliance Tournament offers some of the best prizes in the game, and players who boost will be more successful than the players who work really hard doing it the traditional way. I think that Goodgame Studios probably won't be able to do anything to correct this perceived problem in the future, but they may have dug their own hole when they introduced Fire Castellans into the game. As for glory boosting on the whole, I imagine most of you will disagree with me, and so I welcome you to post your thoughts in the comment section below. My own views do not necessarily represent those of my alliance. Thanks for watching, I've been Breor, and have a good day. Support to a certain player named Sub for Sub. Oh dear.